friends, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life, and today we've been outside. That's why the hat's on, because it makes my hair look prettier. Today I am coming in from the outside and I'm going to make a dinner that'll probably feed us for a couple, like tonight and then tomorrow. So it's a maple syrup type of chicken. So I'm going to have you follow along and we'll see how this turns out. So let's see if we can put this like that and see if you can watch better. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 breasts of chicken in here. Or basically 3, whatever. I've put olive oil into the pan. And now you can leave the skin on your chicken if that's your preference. You can use chicken thighs. Some people like the chicken thighs because it gives it a crispy edge to it. And I just keep adding the olive oil just so that it has enough there, so that it has enough to fry in the oil and it not get the cast iron pan so sticky. So we're going to start that, and once I get those in position, I am going to start chopping up the vegetables and stuff. So what I'm using today for vegetables is I'm using a red onion, two sweet potatoes. I haven't decided if I'm going to do just 1 apple or 2. And then I have my herbs that I pulled from the garden, the greenhouse, which I pulled in thyme, oregano, and some rosemary. So it already smells really good. Salt, pepper, and some maple syrup. So for right now, I'm going to turn this back down a little bit. And I will start preparing the vegetables. And I will be putting them into a bowl to mix in with my maple syrup seasoning that I'm putting together. It's fall, so if I seem like a fleece vest is inappropriate, nope, not in New Hampshire. It's actually not a bad day today. It's kind of in the 50s. Later this week it is going to be getting into the 70s. And so, but this week, while the temperatures continue to go back to the 70s for 1 week, and then we're back into the cold temps. How long will that last? Whatever it happens will happen. And it said the recipe calls for 2 small sweet potatoes and 1 medium apple. That's why I said I'm not sure if I'm going to use both. It'll depend on how all this fits in. So while we're getting things done outside, the housework is a little behind, but every little bit we're getting closer and closer so that all the outdoor things are done. So as I get this prepared, I will be back with you. Now there's no seasoning yet on the chicken. I'm just cooking it inside the cast iron pan. I finally got myself one of these handles for the cast iron pan because it gets very hot. So I'll be chopping these vegetables up, as you can see, and I'll be putting them into a bowl to cover with a maple syrup blend. And once the chicken is done, these will be all set and ready to go. Let's get started. Now you can dice your onions up any way that you want. You can use regular onions. Just use the onions of your choice. I like red onions, and I also like sweet Vidalia onions, but I use the Vidalia onions more so in salads and stuff. But I have used them in cooking as well. Now, some of you who have been following me for a while, you know that my husband is not particularly fond of onions, but as I've gotten him used to the way I cook, he no longer complains. He lets me have at it with the cooking because it's just the way I'm going to do stuff. Now, if you are one who has never made vegetable broth from your leftover goodies, you can take, and these are for people who don't know how to do this, you can take your scraps, your onion skins, your potatoes, your apples, all of that stuff, put it in a bag and put it into your freezer until you have enough to make a broth. It makes a really nice sweet broth. You can do that with, you can add in chicken feet, you can add in bones, so you can make a vegetable beef broth, a vegetable chicken broth, or just a plain vegetable broth. So what we're doing outside is we're getting the yard all set for winter. And today and tomorrow it's like in the 50s. Overnight it's getting into the high 20s. So it's going to be cold on the overnight. And then on Monday the temperatures are going to rise again up into the 70s. So with the apples, you're doing the same thing. You're just cutting them into bite-sized pieces. And I'm taking the skins off because I choose to take the skins off the apples. I said one medium, but I think I'm going to do both apples because they weren't medium apples. They weren't really small, but the greenhouse is doing well, and that's where I got my my herbs from. So I'm kind of excited about how those are coming along. Now I'm turning the oven on because I'm going to, once this is done and I've got everything in there, I am going to put this in the oven and bake it for a spell. I just got to take the items out of the oven because I use it for storage. Hold on, let me get that taken care of. Small kitchens, you use your space wisely. That heat up while everything is going here. One more apple. It was nice to get to the apple farm this week. Got a bunch of apples. We'll probably go back 1 or 2 more times before the holidays, because I want to can up some fresh applesauce, make some apple juice. Basically what I'm doing is I'm browning the chicken. And like I said earlier, you can use whatever chicken you would like. And you can use it with the skin on it. I don't generally do it, but it's true that chicken skin will add flavor to your meal. Plus, when I sent David to the store, he picked up some without skin, which is fine. And I've turned that down a little. Actually, I turned it off because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake this once I have everything in there. Okay. And it's got the olive oil in there, which will be fine in the oven. Turn that over. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the herbs ready as well. Let's see, what do I want to do? When do I want to put? Yep, I'm going to put that on after. So now what I'm going to do, I have my veggies here. I'm going to salt it a bit. This is sea salt. I'm going to give it some pepper. And how much maple syrup do I want to put in there? 3 tablespoons. Okay, I am not going to measure it. It's 3 tablespoons, so this is how I measure. 1, 2, 3. And excuse me. It gives it just a nice little coating. And we do want to put a little bit more, some olive oil in here too. Just about a tablespoon of olive oil in that. The amount of olive oil I put in the pan was about 3 to 4 tablespoons. Basically, I just coated the bottom so that the chicken, and it's in a cast iron pan as well. So now that this is all set, I'm going to pour this into the pan with the chicken. Now the chicken, I can tell that it's not completely cooked all the way through, But I'm going to take this, cover this with the veggies, not that piece, and you're going to, this is going to be quite delightful. Get that sweetness in there. And then take your herbs. I've got some rosemary here. Rosemary, I just bring it off the stem. This came in from the garden today, or the greenhouse. I think I brought in more than I really want to put on there. Nothing better than fresh herbs. Now, not everybody has herbs in their greenhouse. Not everybody has herbs in their kitchen growing. But the grocery stores do have herbs in little packets in the produce aisle. Now here's some oregano. The nice thing about fresh herbs, and you do not have to use fresh herbs, just because I have them, this is just the way I enjoy doing it, and I don't always have them on hand. Like come winter, my greenhouse might not be providing them for me. You can use the dried herbs as well. The basic recipe calls for oregano and thyme, and I just add in rosemary just for a little bit of added benefit, added flavor. Let's see, and here is the thyme. Chop that up. Okay, some of these I'm going to have to. So if you've never done this, you can chop it the way you want, but if you don't want to do that and it doesn't chop as nicely, you can just, I'm trying to get a good piece to show you. Let's see. Here's some thyme. You just, like I did with the rosemary, just go down the stem. When I use thyme, and I use it a lot, I make a tea out of it. I leave it right on the stem itself. So even if the stem gets into this dish, I'm not going to worry about it, and David will know to pull it out. And I have more herbs than I actually need. So just use what you can. And I would say that the amount I'm putting on, I don't know, maybe half a tablespoon to a tablespoon. And it's just going to add a lovely flavor. Oh, and here's some sage. I brought the sage in. I thought, oh, that would be really nice to put that in. Now, I do have an allergy to sage. Not a horrible one, but the best part, and I can make medicinal things with it because of the way it is processed with the tinctures. But what I can do is when I put it into the oven, this is something that my allergist had explained to me, is it will bake. I have the temperature up at 350, and this will bake for, let's see, 20 minutes, I believe. Nope, cook time, 1 hour and 10 minutes. So that time frame is going to not only soften the vegetables, but it's also going to put the herbal flavors into the dish. So I'm going to put this in here and get that going. I shall be back. Okay friends, I am back. So let's see how this chicken dish did. Oh goodness. This looks amazing. What do you think, David?
Smells good.
Don't touch the handle.
What? wasn't gonna.
I'm going to change the camera. Sorry if it makes too much noise. So now what I'm going to do is I will just stir it all in, take the meat out, and then, cut it into servings. These are pretty big chicken pieces, so I will probably take one and split it between us. And then we'll have leftovers. We'll have 2 extra meals. And but while I do that, I'm going to let the potatoes and carrots soak in there first. So just 1 second. Oh, that tastes really good. I licked my fingers. Okay, there's that. And let me get a plate because we're going to... You're okay with splitting that, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you can have the whole thing if you want.
No. I won't be able to eat that much.
Okay. So this is a good sized piece of chicken. And so what I'm doing with what's left here is I'm going to let this soak in this maple syrup dressing that I had put together. And let that soak while I cut up the chicken. You want to cut the chicken or are you going back out?
I have to wash my hands if I'm doing that. Or getting that.
Okay. Do you have a fork there?
I do not.
You should be prepared, dear. So it cuts right through. I don't know if you can see that on the film, but it cooked through really nice. So this is going to be very, very good. Do you want it cut into bite sizes so we don't have to?
Well, you can, but I was trying to cut mine.
Okay, well, we'll get the other dish. So doing that, letting it sit in that syrup does allow it to marinate and get softened up and stuff. And then you take the lovely yummies, onions, apples, sweet potatoes.
You have apples in there too?
I do have apples in there.
Cool.
But this, and just since there's plenty of juice, pour that over the chicken. And all that green stuff, David, is nothing bad. It's all herbs.
Nothing bad.
Nothing bad.
No moringa in there, huh?
There's no moringa. So what do you think, folks? Okay, I can't do this camera thing. He's busy getting his serving. He said he wants that syrup on it. I'm waiting for him to take a bite.
Oh, you want me to take a bite?
Yes, take a bite and tell me what you think. Perfect?
Very good.
Score, Laura.
You always cook good.
All right. Thanks for watching, friends. Hey friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video of me making a new dish. It looks like we're going to have a delightful dinner, and I hope that you have a lovely evening. God bless.